When we're talking about coaching philosophy, it's usually not the most talked about part of coaching that we deal with. Coaches usually get thrown in right away, and we're talking about the X's and O's and how to pick teams. And when we talk about the off-court stuff, we go right away to logistics of getting to your matches or your practices or team leadership. But I feel like we need to take a little bit more time and start looking at our coaching philosophy, why we coach, how we coach. When I break it down and look at it, I think of a coach as a vehicle. It's someone to move people from one place to another. We get our players to do what we want them to do to better for the team. And philosophy is our principles and guidance of practical affairs and how we actually do that driving and moving of the team. When we put together, our coaching philosophy should be a set of beliefs and principles that guide our coaching behavior in all situations. And this is the key when we start breaking down between functional and factual is what are we basing our philosophy on? How do we even start this whole process? And really for me, I think the coaching philosophy is based on how we coach, which is our coaching style, and what's our actual objectives. Obviously, a coach at a boys and girls club might have different expectations than a higher level youth club, or a pro coach has different objectives than a college coach. So is there a way to mesh all of that, and do we use the same philosophies, and how can we grow on that when we're moving between those two different styles? And also, it's really the rules that we give ourselves in what we do as coaches. We obviously have laws and rules and ethics that we have to follow while we're coaching, but what really keeps us in check with the decisions that we make for the team that are the tactical and technical decisions. So that's where your coaching philosophy will come in. So why would we have a coaching philosophy to begin with? The main reason for me is it really does start everyone on the same page. If you think about who all you have to deal with, you're dealing with your parents, your players, and your philosophy basically lets everyone know what matters to you, where you stand, and what order you're going to put things in. It'll also help you show how you approach the games. How much do you weigh winning versus the growth and development of your players? It's a blueprint of how you coach. It really helps you keep surprises. And really the biggest thing is it helps you keep winning in perspective. I think we've all been there. Jeff Janssen, who I think is one of the best sports leadership experts and speakers around the day, has these great 5 stages that he talks about when he's discussing how to develop your philosophy. And it's not obviously set in stone that you're going to go through all 5. You may skip some, but I think most of us have been coaching multiple years. We'll start to recognize some of these. So we start out with the survival stage. And really in the survival stages, your primary focus is usually just to get your foot in the door and figure things out and not get fired as a coach. And eventually you'll move on to the striving for success stage, which is where you're building your winning team and your philosophy, and you're starting to make your name for yourself, both as a program or as a coach. From there, we go to the significant stage, where we start to not only have success in our programs, but we start to have an impact on the personal lives of our players. So how our players are leaving our program and what they're doing while they're in our program is a main factor in the significant stage. Satisfied stage is when you may have reached the pinnacle, you may have won your championship, or you may have reached the highest level that you want to, and then you're just satisfied where you're at. You're okay that you're going to have those up and down years, but you know what your process is, you know what your goals are, you know what your philosophy is, and you're content with the way your program's going. And then last is the one that I think a lot of us hit a little bit too early, and that's the burnout stage, where the demands and the hassle of coaching start to outweigh the benefits. And one of the ways I think we keep staying out of the burnout stage is by revisiting what our philosophy is and sticking with our philosophy. For me, I love developing players. I love when players come back and help me coach. Almost every year I've had a former player come back as an assistant, either at the college level or at the club level. And that probably is one of the best signs for me that I'm doing it right and that they like me and my philosophy is right on track. So that's probably one of my most important parts of my philosophy. So I don't really look at that burnout stage, because hopefully I'm always turning out those kids that, hey, maybe I want to coach and come back and I can help out.